Let's take a look at the top story we are tracking for you this hour. In what would be a first, as per reports, China's new defense minister, General Li Shangfu, is likely to make his first visit to India for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Defense Ministers Meet, scheduled for April. This would also be the first high-level Chinese military officials' visit to India since the border standoff that began in 2020. Not just that, India and China are also looking to arrange a bilateral meeting between the Defense Minister of China, General Li Shangfu, and the Defense Minister of India, Rajnath Singh. This would also make it the first meeting between the two defense ministers. However, it is important to note that General Li Shangfu was sanctioned by the United States over the purchase of the S-400 missile defense systems from Russia. And with United States being a close ally, this visit by a sanctioned Chinese defense minister may prove to be a difficult balancing act for India, which of course has been engaged in bitter standoff with China along the line of actual control. Now, this visit comes as India and China continue to discuss engagement in the last two of the 7 friction points, Demchok and Depsang. The two countries have so far held 17 rounds of Corps commanders' talks to resolve the standoff along the line of actual control in eastern Ladakh. All eyes will be on the bilateral engagement on the sidelines of the SCO Defense Ministers Meet next month that have been scheduled to run from the 27th of April until the 29th in the capital, New Delhi. Now, for more on this, we are being joined by our principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Sibal from New Delhi. Hello to you, Siddhant. Now, this will be the first high-level Chinese military officials' visit to India since the border standoff that began in 2020. What are we expecting from this meet?
Well, essentially, Alison, this is an invite extended by India to all the SCO member countries, which includes Pakistan, China, Russia, and Central Asian countries. But we know that this is something that is part of the protocol, given that India is the chair of the SCO and it got the chairmanship last year at the Samarkand SCO summit. Now, the defense ministers meeting that will take place in April is like a series of ministerial meeting India will be hosting. Just few days ago, India hosted the in-person SCO National Security Advisors meeting, in which only 2 countries participated in virtual mode while rest of them participated in person. The 2 countries were China and Pakistan. Now, when it comes to the visit of the Chinese defense minister, the new Chinese defense minister, as you pointed out, there are many firsts to his visit. Of course, as of now, there hasn't been any official announcement by both Beijing and New Delhi as to will he participate in person or not. But sources do confirm to us that it is highly expected that he will travel to India. Now, he is sanctioned by the United States. Does it impact his presence or visit to India? Essentially not, because these are US sanctions on the Chinese officials. So India does not follow any unilateral sanctions by any country. It does follow multilateral sanctions announced by the United Nations. So there will be no impact on his visit to India because of these sanctions. But the fact a Chinese official, a high-level Chinese officials will be in India is something which of course is a significant development given how relationship has been between the 2 countries.
Absolutely, Siddhant. But in light of these US sanctions against China and considering that the US is an ally of India, this may prove to be somewhat of a difficult balancing act for India.
Well, essentially, diplomacy is all about balancing, but we should also remember that how India It's perhaps the only country which is part of a diverse set of groupings that include the BRICS grouping, the SCO, and of course the Quad. Now, Quad is seen as a very anti-China grouping by Beijing. Of course, that is not the case. Quad is largely focusing on humanitarian issues, but many can say in the West that SCO is an anti-West grouping. But the fact that India is present in the grouping shows that how India is engaging under the grouping with the countries of the region. This is one of the most powerful groupings, and we have seen more and more countries from West Asia keen to join SCO. So while of course there will be visits of Chinese and the Russian leaders under the Indian presidency of the SCO, for India it will be a moment to showcase its diplomatic weight at the world stage, given it's also the chair of the G20 grouping and will be hosting the summit in the month of September.
Absolutely, Sudan. Thank you very much for being with us and bringing us all the latest details on that upcoming meet. WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.